Hello, welcome back to Kitchen Sink. Today we're working on the warp drive. For our first ship, actually. So the first ship is going to be made with the warp drive. This will take us to the actual space dimension. We won't be able to get to other planets because you need to warp for that. And to be able to warp, you'll need to build a massive ship that is not able to be built on a planet. It costs 3,000 blocks to do, and the amount of energy cost for moving massive ships is very, very extensive. However, getting into space with a ship will be with our first ship will be pretty easy. I'm very excited about it. But we have to make the warp drive first, which is what we're currently working on, which is this thing. And it's not actually too difficult. It's just vanilla stuff. So I'm pretty happy about this. You can play this mod with Greg Tech, Community Edition unofficial as well, instead of just a kitchen sink mod pack like I have here, if you really wanted to. But you'll need to do some config stuff for that to actually get it to work, which is where it won't crash because of the tooltips it gives you for different things. Just keep that in mind. You'll have to turn off all of its tooltips because it conflicts with the Greg Tech Community Edition unofficial ones. But anyway, now we are able to make the circuit for this thing. Because this can either take an IC2 circuit, which could basically be any circuit that's basic. So, that means one of these guys could do. Anyway, we'll not worry about that right now, we'll just worry about... Oh, what is this? Power interface? Ah, yes, it is basically like the mechanism thing. I'll need more gold for it. So, I'll need a lot of gold for all of these things. Okay. But there's also the transporter devices, which are also going to come in handy. We've completed the memory crystal, we now need to get rubber. And for getting rubber, you need a special machine, which we're going to need to make that machine right now, which is called an extractor, which is right here. This machine is actually not too bad to make. We'll need 2 osmium ingots to bypass the actual IC2 progression. We'll use mechanism, and while we're waiting on that to happen, we will now begin working on our turbines for the digit miner machine. So now we'll be able to infinitely mine whatever we want out of the ground. This will actually probably be it already is stupidly overpowered, but this will make it from stupidly to ludicrously overpowered or something like that. It'll just become ridiculous. So that's why it's coming in handy. So we'll make 1, 2, and I believe I need 3 of these. So that means I will probably be able to make 4 more. Yeah, that will get me to my number. Okay, so then if I take out all of this rubbish, I will also put away all of this obsidian and stuff, because I have a bunch of this. And I can just shift-click these into the crafting table. I do not want them in the crafting table. I can also shift-click these into this. But anyway, I want these energy tablets to be, like, right on the edges. Then I want these guys in the center. And I will need to cover it in osmium ingots on the top. And that will make it a little bit expensive, but not really. Because this is now able to mine on its own without even needing energy from an external battery buffer or something like that. And I have it backwards as it goes on the bottom. So now I have 3 of these. I have energy production galore. And we're not using these in space for our ship. We're going to use probably something else. I don't know. Yeah, another meteorite from HBM mod extended edition. Let's see about this guy. Does he have anything that helps us progress? Probably not, because they're useless in this version. It's extended edition, so it's useless. It just makes the game lag. That's all it does. It's game lagging. Whoop-wah. We have just regular meteorite. That's what this is. Probably. Yeah. Boring. Except probably what's on the inside is probably impressive. Or not. It's just the same rubbish. Alright, so now that we have the digital miner set up, we just need to set up the wind turbines for powering this thing. And much like the quarry, where if you have, like, you power it with wind turbines as well, you can do that. But much like with the quarry, which we have not even covered yet in this playthrough, and we probably will not cover in this playthrough because it is actually not useful. These wind turbines are able to power this thing. What am I trying to say? I don't even know. You see, with the quarry, when you use these wind turbines, you're able to power the thing using, like, 3 of them, and it will go turbo speed because it doesn't know how to use the energy from mechanism correctly, so it's just broken. So, I mean, it's equally as broken as Buildcraft in this case. But less so broken because, I mean, Buildcraft can only get you... doesn't specifically mine a specific material. I think that's the thing that sets us apart. Like, that's the reason his mechanism thing is broken, is because it mines specifically one material out of the ground. If I wanted to have a broken experience, then that's why I've installed this. I want a broken experience. That's fun, I guess. I don't know. I need to connect that up with cables right now to make it run. So I need basic universal cable. And then I need to hook this up over to here. And then we're going to be able to tell this guy, hey, I need some gold. Or, hey, I need some config. Delete that. New filter. Or dict. Tell it to mine. Or gold. Save. Or... no, just regular or iron. Save. Okay, I think that's enough. Right, so let's go ahead and begin with this start 2050 to mine. And it's being kept up with by all these turbines. It is not. Not even. It needs more turbines. Well, these guys are keeping up, kind of. How much energy does this cost per second? Like, how much energy are you drinking, bro? He's drinking all of the energy. Well, anyway, we'll get power for that thing eventually. It doesn't matter right now. But we've made those for powering it, I guess. Kind of. To a degree, they power it enough for now. We'll leave them as is. But for over here, we'll get started on the actual warp drive. What do we need for this? Right, we need the extraction machine, or whatever that gets called. Which means we'll need 4 of those, an advanced circuit, and a bunch of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then boom. And then this can hook up into the compactor to make our ingots of stuff. And then over here we'll have the osmium compressor ready to go. Now we need the metallurgic infuser ready to go. Boom. And now we need planks for making the actual things. But while we're waiting on that, it is actually time to start on the warp drive, which is made like so. You have the shuttle ship core with the power interface and the computer interface, which is what we can start on right now, costing a 10 ingot from whatever mod you add to make this run. And you can actually get 2 out of it. But to actually get to your next tier of ship, you'll also need to get this shuttle ship core. And these things are big ships, so yeah, be careful with these, because if you want to build, yeah, I mean, yeah, it costs even more power. So what is this recipe? You take 2 3 taps, put them together, and you get 1 3 tap out. What is the point of that recipe? That is actually useless. Anyway, we should have enough for making the actual thing. There is no need for actually a hammer in this recipe, unlike in Greg Tech, where you would probably need a hammer for this recipe to actually make it even happen. Because you take a hammer in the center, put it in the plates, which is why IC2 is different. But you can play with either IC2 or Greg Tech, and you'll need a wrench if you place this down and you want to access the stuff. Be careful, these can also explode, but unlike in Greg Tech, they do not explode whenever you hit them with water or something like that. It's actually just whenever they get too much energy. But it is basically the same as Greg Tech. And with these mechanism cables, you cannot get enough or get too much energy in these guys, because mechanism does not do that. Fabulous. So, to make actual rubber, you will need to get resin from here. And each resin gives you 3. You can also use logs, and they will give you, I believe, actually you would need to run them through a sawmill, I think. I don't remember. But this should give us our first rubber for actually doing stuff with. And that also gets us to our first circuit thingy. But anyway, let's get to our actual first circuit. So the actual warp ship costs 1 of these guys, and they cost gold, tin, and wired modem, which is actually easy to make, as long as you have stone. And I need more stone. So I need to get started smelting stone, I guess. Run it through energized smelter. And then we'll have our wired modems done. And then we'll be good to go. Let's check this out. I have first wired modem. And I'll have the second wired modem pretty soon. One thing I do like about the limitations of this mod is that if you want to go into space and make your base in space, then you can do it. However, your limitation is that in order to travel around, you cannot have too many things on your ship. For example, if you want to build a smeltery on your ship, you're limited. I do not think you can even build a smeltery on your ship. I would not try that. But I'll try it in creative mode, maybe. Well, actually, if you do build a smeltery on your ship, you have to wait for it to actually drain all that stuff out. So I wouldn't build it on your ship. I would just use this on the ground. Coke ovens, they'll be fine because immersive engineering is fine. But this thing will definitely cause problems, I feel like. Because this is locational based, so like it will save its data. If you have like ingots of stuff in here and you break this and place it somewhere else and then bring it back, you will end up with all the ingots still being here inside of this one. As long as you place it exactly the same as it was before, you'll end up with all the ingots in there. And if you break blocks on that layer, it saves the data into the block apparently. I don't know how it works. It's weird, but that's how in my experience it's worked in the past. So. We will need a tin ingot for this. Do we even have a tin ingot? That's a good question. No, we do not have a tin ingot, but we do have tin somewhere in this bin here. We have Vopal's library tin. Let's go ahead and shove that in the machine, see how that goes. We should be able to even do it in this guy now. No, we won't. Not enough HCl salt in there. I do not want to move these into the spaceship. I feel like that'd be a stupid idea, but I would like to have some power supply for this spaceship that is HPM related, so... Or actually something else is better than HPM. How will we do that? I'm not too sure. We do not need more stone for now. Well, actually, we will need it in a bit, but not right now. Here is the warp drive computer systems, and then finally, for the last part, we will need the rubber, which you only need 2 pieces, and this will be the warp drive charging component, or whatever the heck it's called, or power thingy. What is this? Power interface. Yes, you'll need one of these. And then our warp drive is officially done, and we have finished a warp drive. That is actually fantastic. I'm actually kind of surprised we managed to actually make it this far. Well, no, actually not really. This is actually not very far because there's still more stuff we need to do before we can actually go to space. We actually need to go and do more stuff first. Now, can I make this warp drive? Because I believe I have it backwards. Oh. This is your first shuttle ship core. And for this you'll need blocks that you can build a spaceship out of, probably. I don't know. Let's go ahead and get some steel deco blocks, maybe. Let's get something like that.